All right, welcome back to another episode of the First and Gold podcast. I'm your host, Sam Gold, and as you see by the title, it's prediction time. Once again, we're already at week 3. It feels like these first 2 weeks have just gone by super quick, but it's a lot of fun, you know? We still got, 16, 15 weeks left of the regular season, and we got a lot of games to talk about. No buys yet. Still going to be a packed red zone like we always love. We got a double header on Monday Night Football. We got a game tomorrow, about 25 minutes away from my house down in MetLife. So a lot to talk about. Let's just jump right into it. We're gonna go through each game in order, and of course I'm gonna give my preview and predictions, who's gonna win the game and what the score is gonna be. First off, we got Patriots Jets at MetLife. Just mentioned it. The only major storyline right here off the bat, of course, is the Jets have not played a home game yet this season. So it's Aaron Rodgers' return, healthy, hopefully, to MetLife for the first time since the incident that we all know about last week, week 1. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual matchup itself, it feels like it's two top 10 defenses going at it right now. Although the Jets defense has kind of started shaky this season so far. So keep an eye out on that. But if there's a game for them to look like the elite defense we want them to, it's against the Patriots, who I'm not going to go ahead and knock the Patriots too much here because they have been way better than most people thought throughout the first 2 games. They were almost 2-0. They're an overtime field goal away from 2-0 to beat the Seahawks and the Bengals. But I do think that the Patriots aren't the more talented team than the Jets. Now, I can totally see the Jets in their comeback with Aaron Rodgers' first return to MetLife somehow losing to the Patriots and then hindering their chances at being up there in their division rankings. But I'm going to go positive this time. My gut might be telling me the Jets could just blow this, but they proved me wrong last week. I thought they were totally going to go into Tennessee and lose that game. That was my upset alert. So this time, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to pick the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers will have a solid return back home, and the Jets are going to win this game, let's say 23-16. All right, now time for the 1 o'clock games. We have Browns-Giants, kind of I would say random. It is random because they only play once every 4 years, but I like the uniform matchup. It reminds me of a very classic, 1960s matchup here. I like the helmets going at it. I like the blue and orange mix. I do think the Browns are wearing white at home, which, I don't know if I love that. But anyways, it's in Cleveland. The Giants are 0-2. I gave the Giants a lot of shit last episode for being the second worst team in the NFL. And that's my projection. I still think they're going to be the second worst team in the NFL. But, watch back the highlights a few times of the Commanders game. They weren't as bad as I thought. Daniel Jones actually had a serviceable day. No turnovers, 2 touchdown passes. But, like I said last episode, they still only put up 18 points against one of the worst defenses in the NFL in the Commanders. And now they're going up against the Browns, who have a solid defense, who held the Jaguars in Jacksonville to 13 points. Now, on the other side of the ball for the Browns, I don't love it. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has struggled a lot this year. And, I just think it's going to be bad quarterback play going at it against each other. I don't see a lot of points being put up, but I will give the Browns the edge. I'm sorry, Giants fans. You were so close to winning last week, and now you're probably going to fall to 0-3. I know it sounds like I hate the Giants on this podcast. I'm actually rooting for them against the Browns, believe it or not. But I just think the Browns are overall the better team. I think Myles Garrett is going to give Daniel Jones just a lot to deal with this Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Browns to win this game. I don't even think it's going to be that close. I'll say 22-10. I think it's just going to be boring and ugly. All right, time to flip things on its head with a very exciting matchup. A matchup where I think a lot of points are going to be put up. 2 defenses that, one has been great this season. This is Eagles-Saints in New Orleans. The Saints defense has been great. The Eagles defense, not so much. Their secondary, like we all thought, just is struggling right off the bat. They look just as bad as last year. And right now, we talked about last episode, Derek Carr and the Saints are apparently the second best offense in NFL history throughout 2 weeks of the Super Bowl era, scoring 91 total points, and Derek Carr is leading in the MVP race. So, yeah, this is definitely the NFL. Expect the unexpected. Shout out Big Brother fans, that catchphrase. But seriously, that could also be used for the NFL because I don't know what's going on. Maybe this is the game where the Saints come back down to earth and the Eagles prove, they're still in one of the best teams in the NFC. Because they're pissed off that they just blew it at home against the Falcons. But, man, I don't want to keep disrespecting the Saints because I've been doing it the last 2 weeks. I have them going 5-12, which I already know is definitely going to be wrong unless they do have a collapse, but I don't see that anytime soon. They just seem different this year. Not only are they off to a better start, but their play calling is better. Their coaching is better. Derek Carr looks more confident. I like their defense. So as much as it pains me to say it for Eagles fans, look, I wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles went in there and won and put up a lot of points, but I got to roll right now with the team that's the hottest, and it's the Saints. I can't believe we're talking this much about the Saints. This is not what I expected coming into the season, is to spend most of our shows every week, mentioning how good the Saints are. So, I don't know. I'm going to pick the Saints to win it. I want a lot of points being put up. I hope it's a fun game like that. I'm going to go 31-26. Saints. Okay, and then we head to Minnesota for a fun matchup. One that not a lot of people are talking about. But this is a good one. 2-2-0 teams going at it. Texans, Vikings. I'm going to throw this to Al really quick. Al, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? I mean, you guys started off 2-0. You're looking good so far, but you definitely have your toughest opponent. I mean, yeah, actually, you had the 49ers last week. That could be argued that it was tougher. But they're dealing with a lot of injuries. They play the Texans this week. I mean, CJ Stroud versus Sam Darnold. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I'm kind of curious to hear what you think.
If we can beat the 49ers, we can beat the Texans.
Okay.
Undoubtedly.
All right.
Justin Jefferson will put this team on his back if he has to.
Okay. Well, speaking of Justin Jefferson, he's questionable this week, leaning towards playing, which is good. If they don't have him, I'm absolutely picking the Texans. Both teams are 2-0. I'm sorry, Al. Look, they definitely could. But how long is this charade of Sam Darnold being elite going to keep up? Because I mention this now every episode. He's just always good in September. It feels like he's going to drop off at some point. I don't hate the guy. But it feels like the Texans defense, who have been playing pretty solid this year so far, is going to give him, a tough time. So I just have to pick the Texans, unfortunately. I'll make it a close game, though. I'll give the Vikings their respect. I'll make it 24-21, Texans. Bucks Broncos. I don't really feel like talking about it that much, to be honest. I like the Bucks in this game easily at home. The Broncos offense has just looked horrible so far in the first 2 weeks. I like the Bucks defense in this matchup. If you have fantasy, definitely pick them up if they're around. Bo Nix is probably going to throw 2 interceptions against this game. He's also going to get sacked, I'm going to say 4 times. Sorry, I don't like the Broncos right now. I like the Bucks a lot more. Baker Mayfield's good. I'm going to go with the Bucks to win this game 27-14. Packers, Titans. All right. Kind of an interesting matchup. In Tennessee, the Packers are 1-1. It's a Malik Willis revenge game, apparently. I don't know if he's really going to go out there and play that well, though. I think his ceiling is right around what he had against the Colts last week. Now, I'm confident. Look, I'm comfortable with Matt LaFleur in this game plan. It worked last week. Just keep pounding the rock. Now, the problem is the Titans defense is much better, especially against the run, than the Colts defense. But I don't know. I kind of like the Packers in this one. It's hard to say that Malik Willis is going to win 2 games in a row now that he's on the road as well. But the Titans, man, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's not even like the Titans. They don't really have a bad defense talent-wise, and their offense has pieces, but it's just the Will Levis effect. He's the new Jameis. I've been saying this. It feels like he's just going to throw away the game at the end. I have this being close for sure, but I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Packers again. Why not? Let's make it a wacky score. Let's go 18-17 Packers. Okay, we got another interconference matchup. We got Bears-Colts, Anthony Richardson versus Caleb Williams. Look, listen, Bears fans. I don't hate the guy. I don't think he's going to end up sucking in his career. It's only been 2 games. I said last episode, I'm not pressing the panic button. But if you can't go out and play a little bit better against the Colts defense, which has struggled so far in the first 2 games, and I know it's at Indy, and maybe your defense will carry you as well, but you got to do something. I mean, this is crazy. Not only Caleb Williams, but every starting rookie quarterback has not thrown a touchdown pass yet. I mean, I know we've been struggling. The NFL's been struggling the last 2 seasons with just passing numbers in general, but I mean, if we make it through week 3 and these quarterbacks aren't throwing touchdowns still, this is getting weird. So I'm going to go out and make a prediction. Caleb Williams throws his first touchdown pass of his career. There you go. Why not? But I'm going to pick the Colts to win. They're 0-2. They're hungry for it. They lost 2 close games. They're pissed off. Anthony Richardson needs to play better, though. He needs to play a lot more consistent. Keep pounding the rock, though, Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor, although the Bears' defense is tough to go up against. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Colts. Both teams will be 1-2 after this game. I'm going to say the Colts win it 23-17. All right, our final 1 o'clock game in Pittsburgh. It's their home opener this season against the Chargers. Both 2-0. Man, that's a tough one. This one's a tough one because at some point, if you're going along the lines of the Steelers need to end 9-8, 10-7, they got to start losing at some point. But I kind of like the matchup at home. This is Justin Herbert's first real test of the season. He's lucked out by starting with the Raiders and the Panthers, so he hasn't really had to do that much on offense. I mean, the run game's been great, but you're going against the Steelers defense, one of the best in the NFL. TJ Watt is dominating. He's healthy. They're at home. But then you can go to the flip side. I feel like Jim Harbaugh is going to have a good game plan to stop Justin Fields. So, you know, me mentioning both things for these defenses makes it feel like it's going to be a low-scoring affair. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but look, I guess it makes for an exciting Week 4 matchup between the Chargers and Chiefs, who can both be 3-0 going into it. I'm going to pick the Chargers to win it again. I keep doubting the Steelers, and I keep being wrong, but I feel like they have to go 9-8. But their defense could totally dominate again. If I'm wrong, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this one. I think it's going to be ugly and low scoring. I'm going to say 16-13 Chargers win it in Pittsburgh. All right, and then we got 5 4 o'clock games. I like that. Last week, 10 at the 1 o'clock slot was chaotic, and it was fun towards the end, but it was too much to keep up with. I like the 7-5 split. That's nice. So let's start with our first 4 o'clock game. We got Seahawks-Dolphins. Fun fact, when these two teams play each other, that's the farthest you have to travel across 2 teams to play. And the Dolphins this time, they get the brunt of it. They got to go to Seattle. Seattle's 2-0. Obviously, the Dolphins don't have Tua now for at least, 4 weeks. Skylar Thompson is somehow the starter. I don't understand it. I'm a Tyreek owner in fantasy. I've been trying to shop him this past week because I said, if Skylar Thompson's out there, like, how do I even feel good about starting him anymore? All right, who cares about my fantasy team? Even getting to the matchup, Skylar Thompson has absolutely no chance. They are the Panthers' offense with Skylar Thompson. I don't care how much speed or talent they have. The Seahawks are going to win this game. I'm frustrated. They picked up Tyler Huntley. Then start the guy. Start Tyler Huntley. He obviously didn't deserve the Pro Bowl a couple years ago, but he was technically a Pro Bowl quarterback. And look, he made it close in a playoff game in Cincy 2 years ago. He's already better than Skylar Thompson. I'm sorry. Fun fact, both of those quarterbacks did start a playoff game in 2022. Very odd. But anyways, I just don't see the Dolphins offense really getting it done here. Maybe 1 touchdown scored. I like the Seahawks in this one at home. The Seahawks are going to go to 3-0. So great start for them, if I'm right. Yeah, I have to go with Seattle, unfortunately, for the Dolphins here. And I just don't think it's even going to be close. I'm going to go 26-10. Yeah, I truly think Skylar Thompson's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. It's not even close. I don't know why the Dolphins are doing this. It's just awful. All right, Raiders, Panthers. We're getting all these weird interconference matchups. I love it. I love a good random matchup between an AFC and NFC team. So we're just stacking them this week. This is a lot of fun. Raiders, Panthers, also Las Vegas. Their first home game this year. It's against the Panthers. How much more can I say? I've already made 2-3 segments about how much they suck this season. How they're the worst team I've ever seen. And as much as I don't want the Raiders to have a winning record going into week 4, I just don't see how they lose this game. There's no way they do. Even though Andy Dalton is here now. I mean, look, Andy Dalton could put up a 300-yard game and get a bunch of garbage touchdowns, but the Raiders are the more well-run team. I like them better anyways, so I'm going to go with the Raiders to win this one. Sure, I'll give the Panthers some points just because of Andy Dalton, because he's fun. So I'll go 31-17. Raiders. All right, and then we have a matchup going into the season that was supposed to be a very fun 425 game. Rams 49ers. The Rams home opener now. We got a lot of home openers. These are the final ones of the season, week 3. But unfortunately, I like the Rams better, obviously. There's just too many factors that make me think that they're going to have a very similar season to 2022 now. Cooper Kupp's going to be out. Puka's out. Their defense sucks. I mean, I just feel bad for Matt Stafford. There's not much you can do here. You're going against a pissed-off 49ers team that just lost in Minnesota last week. They weren't expecting that. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to come in and just destroy the Rams. I really do. I really think they're going to do it. So I'm sorry, Rams fans, but it's not looking good right now. You're just too injured, too unlucky. So I got the 49ers winning this one, honestly, 37-20. I just think it's going to be a blowout. All right, and then we head to Arizona for Cardinals-Lions. A great matchup. I feel like they're going to put up a lot of points in this game. Jared Goff versus Kyler Murray. I would say so far, if I had to pick a quarterback that's played better this season between the two, it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's been great. He was my MVP of the Week 2 recap of the last week. He played phenomenally, had a perfect passer rating. They're at home again. Finally, Marvin Harrison's doing something. And the Lions, man, it sucks. Like, they're going to be 1-2 if they lose this game. And I think going into the season, I'd easily pick them to win this. But with the way the Cardinals are playing right now, look, I think it's going to be a shootout. But I could totally be wrong. The Lions could just come out pissed off and beat a team that has a worse defense than the Cardinals. Maybe Kyler Murray throws a couple picks in this game, doesn't look as good. But I'm going to ride the wave right now. I'm going to pick the Cardinals to go to 2-1 and the Lions to go to 1-2. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say the Cardinals win this game. Ooh, I'm going to go 27-24. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one. Close one. All right, our final 4 o'clock game in Dallas, Ravens-Cowboys. Interesting one. They only play every 4 years. I think that both teams are going to want this one more than ever. Both teams, well, look, the Ravens had a close game last week, but it was still a very embarrassing loss to lose your home opener against the Raiders. You really should have not lost that game. The Cowboys, on the other hand, were just blown out from the beginning against the Saints. Now, the Cowboys, I think, have the slight edge in this one, although I just can't picture the Ravens being 0-3. That would be very shocking. But then on the other side, the Cowboys, if they lose this game, I feel like people are going to be, very panicked. They're going to be asking a lot of questions. They're going to want things to be torn down already. I think they're going to overreact if they lose. And unfortunately for Cowboys fans, I got to pick the Ravens. It would really shock me if they start 0-3 after almost going to the Super Bowl. And they're really pissed. They're really pissed off now. So I'll pick the Ravens to win this game 28-20. I think it's going to be close. All right, Sunday Night Football. We got the Chiefs at Falcons. The last time this game happened, Eric Berry had a pick 6 and a pick 2. Albert Wilson had a fake punt touchdown. Just some weird stuff happens between these two teams. In 2020, when they went to Kansas City, the Chiefs narrowly won 17-14 because Younghoe Koo missed a field goal at the end. Just weird shit happens against these two teams. To anybody that thinks the Chiefs are going to go in and blow them out, you're absolutely incorrect. I really hope we do. But the way we've played the last 2 seasons, the injuries on our offense, I just don't see it happening. I can even see this. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but I can even see this totally being their game. They have one of these every year that they lose to an obviously inferior opponent. I could totally see the Chiefs just being very lackadaisical, kind of sleepwalking through this game. I hope not. I really hope not. But I'm going to make it very close. I think it's going to be extremely close. I think the Chiefs are going to fly way too close to the sun on this one, and it's going to give me another heart attack. And it's just another reason for people to doubt the Chiefs, down the line, saying they don't look good right now. But yeah, it's September. It's the beginning of the season. We got our vanilla playbook out. We played the 2 most important games of the season in our first 2 weeks, and this it feels like a trap game. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs. It's going to be very close. Don't be surprised if it is. Take the Falcons plus whatever it is if they're not favored. I'm going to say the Chiefs win this game 23-20. So yeah, we'll see. All right, and then we got a Monday night doubleheader. Let's start with Bills-Jaguars in Buffalo. The Jags are 0-2. And not many worse places you have to travel than Buffalo after starting 0-2. After the Bills are off to a great start. Now, the thing I will say, I will not be shocked if the Jags went in and won. It feels like a very Bills thing to do, to start 2-0 and then lose to the Jags. Weird shit happens between these two teams. They lost to the Jags in London, I'm pretty sure, last year. They lost like 9-6 in Jacksonville a few years ago. But also, I just don't see the Jags having a lot of confidence right now. I think if they lose this game, we're going to have a real segment about the Jaguars next week and what's going on with Trevor Lawrence, what's going on with the play calling, what's going on with their offense in general. I don't know And I'm picking the Bills. I am picking the Bills. I think they're going to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be close as well. I think it's going to be 27-16. I think the Bills' defense is very underrated. I think James Cook is going to get going. Josh Allen in his hometown, feeling confident. They don't have a lot of pressure on them this season. They already started 2-0, and yeah, the Jags are just not feeling it right now. So, look, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm picking the Bills. And then finally, we got Bengals Commanders. Now, the Commanders are 1-1. The Bengals are 0-2. Third year in a row they started 0-2. But I've said this now for a couple weeks looking ahead at the schedule. I feel like this is the Bengals-Rams Monday night game from last year. Just switched out with the Commanders. This is the game. The Bengals get back on track. I mean, they already proved against the Chiefs. If they play like that, they're a playoff team. They were one kick away from beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They looked immensely better. They're probably getting T. Higgins back for this game as well. Joe Burrow looks healthier and healthier as the weeks go on. The Commanders' defense sucks. They got to go into a rowdy environment, a team that is desperate for a win. Jaden Daniels, a rookie in his first primetime game. I feel like all the things are matching up for the Bengals to finally win their first game of the year. And what's a Bengals game without it being extremely close and a nail-biter sometimes against these inferior teams? So let's pick them to win it. Let's say, I think it's going to be a weird score. I'm going to go 22-17 Bengals. And there you go. That's it. Week 3 predictions from yours truly. We'll see how I do. I think I am 16-16 on the season so far. So I didn't do good last week. I think I was like 6-10 or 7-9. That's what I was. And I was 9-7 in week 1. So we'll see how I do this week. I'm very excited for another packed week of red zone and good primetime games and just good fun football. The start of fall is right around the corner. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. We love interacting. And then also follow us at First and Gold Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Enjoy football. Goodbye.